I have been overwhelmed in a good way with the power of American values and Western values in general to demonstrate their superiority over all challengers. I think that what we now call misinformation and disinformation, kind of interchangeably with the Russian narrative, has been tested, and I think we have basically, in many, many venues, won. Now, that doesn't mean that the jury is in. I mean, in a lot of ways, how kids that are currently in elementary school in India and in Indonesia and in Nigeria remember the Russia-Ukraine war 15 years from now, jury's out on that. But the West has really managed to maintain its unity and cohesion in the face of this challenge in a way that I don't think I anticipated prior to the Russian invasion. And I think that has something important to do with the resiliency of the underlying values of the post-World War II order that are baked into our institutions, and those have been on display. And now I'm up at 30,000 feet. I'm very, very distant from the human perspective with the Ukraine war because I'm looking at all of this through more of a geopolitical lens, thinking more again about escalation issues and how to contain this war to Ukraine. I'm given hope by the fact that there is a group of countries in Europe, you could call it new NATO, which has really stepped up since the invasion of Ukraine and not only absorbed huge numbers of Ukrainian refugees into their societies, but also made it clear that they're going to spend at least 2% of their GDPs on defense and potentially much more in the future. So I think we can see something emergent which you can be optimistic about for a European security architecture. It doesn't necessarily solve the problem of how do we give Russia equities in a European security order. That's the second problem that I think we're kicking down the road. But the idea that we're going to have old NATO and new NATO plus Ukraine, whether or not Ukraine gets into NATO is not actually necessary for what I have in mind in terms of an optimistic thing. It's the Bucharest Nine and a NATO that supports Ukraine by keeping it completely flush with NATO-interoperable weapons so that it has the means to defend itself. That is a European security order that provides a baseline optimism as long as Ukraine can get into the European Union and get rebuilt. That I think is a future that looks very hopeful. And it's much more high probability now than I think it was a year and a half ago.